Welcome to Guns and Gear Network, everyone. I want to bring you this video this afternoon that I think is a good little topic. And if you are into prepping and survival and preparedness and all that, I wanted to share something with you that some of you may or may not have thought of. And this right here could be the difference between life or death, especially in a long-term situation. And I wanted to bring it to you. And we look at prepping, and we always look at all the items that we need to buy. And people always are asking me, well, what do you think I should buy? As far as the guns or ammo or food or fire starting and knives and all that. And people get so overwhelmed with the cost of prepping because they're like, God, it's just costs so much to buy all that. And I understand that. And, that's always a challenge. And, people need to prioritize their budgets and so forth. But there's one thing that's free that literally could save your life over a lot of those items. And that's knowledge. And that is the key. A lot of people, luckily I was fortunate enough to grow up in a rural environment with parents and grandparents that did a lot of hunting and fishing and canning and making their own breads and stuff. So I grew up in that environment. And a lot of people are getting into the prepping movement that maybe wasn't exposed to all that. And with that, they just hadn't, they didn't understand it. They always never been around guns. They never been around anything pertaining to canning or making your own breads and making your own sourdough starters and all those things. So here's the thing, I learned all that in a lifetime. And if you're just getting into prepping, you're not going to learn all that in a short period of time. So what I suggest is gaining knowledge, and that is A, studying and researching, and B, building yourself a library. And that's what this right here on the table is tonight that I want to talk to you briefly about. Start gathering resources. There's tons and tons of information on the internet, and some people has made it even easy. I don't want to say for the lazy people, but easy for the people that don't know where to start looking. A lot of the prepping and survival specific forums, if you dig around and look, they have what's called stickied sections or threads where people have compiled resources. And it's even a lot of times categorized. So it may be shelter building, animal husbandry, gardening, medical, any of that stuff. It's all categorized for you. And it's usually in a PDF file. So what I suggest is go buy you an SD card or two. Remember the old saying, one is none, two is one. And, gather that information. These SD cards are very durable. They have, I think I've seen some torture tests where they dunked them in water and all this other stuff. Now, obviously, they can be broken, but these things are pretty durable, to be honest with you. Start collecting that data. Get all that information and put it. There's old military manuals like Army manuals, survival manuals, medical, first aid, any of that, and start gathering it all. And think outside the box a little bit, like the medical side, for instance. I went in. And a lot of people think about antibiotics, and there's, topics on, fish antibiotics and all this other stuff. Well, that's fine, but do you know what antibiotics to take for certain symptoms? Well, I went and found a website that how that broke down. So if you have an earache, you got to take this certain one. If you have a tooth infection, you take these certain antibiotics. So again, break it all down. Gather that information. It's free. It's right there at your fingertips. You can buy, an $8 or $10 SD card and house it and start gathering that information, because what's going to happen, even if the grid's down, we have laptops that can be plugged into our cars, and so you'll be able to access that resource later. It's always good to have like a paperback version, obviously, but some people just can't afford to build a library of that information. You can find some of those books fairly reasonable on eBay and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you can find free information that you can just start gathering it all and putting it in a one section, or like I said, do a master copy and then have another copy. Heck, hand them out as gifts. I mean, if you got other friends and family that are starting to get into prepping, say, hey, I'd like to give you this little gift I found that I put together for you, with a lot of prepping information, and build yourself a solid library with all that information. And again, look at recommendations from other websites, and that's just like I even broke it down to how to raise chickens, rabbits, how to trap game, all that. Even though I know some of that, I still wanted, there may be a new trap in there that I'd never built, but it's in this file. It's in this PDF file that somebody put together, and it may be an old Army manual, something like that. But either way, all that information is going to be very useful. And it's free, and it's actually entertaining to me. I have fun enjoying myself trying to find and build my library as big as I can. And maybe I went and found something, I bought a new pistol or a rifle or a shotgun. Well, I may go find the manual to that, and then I'll also find some other things as far as how to work on it, any of that type stuff. So look at all that stuff. Build your library now, guys. I try doing a little bit every week. If I find something interesting, I always have that SD card handy right there at my computer. I'll slide it in there and download the PDF file onto that, and I've got it. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to bring this little short video. Knowledge is free in prepping. It's the only free thing in prepping that you can really know that's out there that you can gather now. Doesn't cost you anything. So I don't want to hear these excuses that I don't have the money to prep, because I'm giving you. Because here's the thing, if you have all this knowledge and somebody else has the gear but no knowledge, you're going to be more valuable than the guy that has all the gear half the time, because they don't know what to do with it. So they may have all the canning supplies in the world, but they don't know how to can because they didn't research it. Maybe they don't have the library. Maybe you have it. Or, raising rabbits or any of that. They may be able to, catch a rabbit, but now how do they raise it? And, you know all this stuff. You've got this information that you can later go back to. So anyway, guys, build your knowledge now. It's free. Do it. It'll pay off in the long run. It's real, like I said, it's cheap. It's just whatever the cost of that is, and then you just fill it full of any information you can find. Anyway, guys, as always, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll be bringing you another video here shortly. Appreciate it, and have a good day.